kind of a traffic that you people face. It's really so. Yeah, I think I was quite late because I was the. I think yesterday only I have reached around 11 o'clock here. No sleep much in the journey, so that's what I wake up a little bit late. So we are almost 40 minutes late. Let's see how much we can do. Okay. So hope you all play with other MVC examples, right? So other the AOP you might try in the weekend. Okay. Yeah. So I will go ahead and maybe we'll see the example first of all.
Can you share some questions like which is most common question in Spring, which people are asking by
Yeah, yeah.
most common kind of like in core Java they're asking how they're asking core Java, similar way how they're asking in Spring.
Yeah, actually, I have a list of questions, Ankur. Maybe I will share it. Okay, I'll share. Okay, yeah. So just to understand for everyone, because it's a little gap after we started AOP model. So okay, hope you all remember the AOP definition. So aspect AOP stands for aspect oriented programming. The AOP will be having the four important keyword which we regularly uses for developing the AOP concepts, right? So that is aspect, join points, and then advice, point cut. So these are all the four different the concepts which will be used in practically. The internally without our knowledge, so internally other four the definition which will be applied for to make the AOP has to run. So for that, so we have an interaction, target object, AOP proxy, and then so viewing, right? So these are all other four uh, the definition which will be used the internally for to execute the AOP fundamentals, right? Now let's see the example as well. So hope you remember we have discussed about a example. So the example which we want to implement is customer and cave. Between these two, so which we discussed, like, so we will be going to implement how this going to be execute, how we are going to be applying it as a AOP, and now I defined a code without any AOP support, right? So and then if you want to call automatically for all these methods, so you require an AOP. Let us go to example. Okay, I've already built it for to save some time. Let us import the example, then so I'll show you one by one. Okay, so that is also a Maven application, so Maven projects. The additionally what you need to do is, so you need to add another jar file which related to aspects. The aspect related jar file should be added in the application. I don't know where is that project. Let me see. Yep. Okay. So I have a name called Spring AOP annotation config project. In the later section, I can also show you how we can configure in the XML as well. Okay. For now, let us concentrate on how we are going to be implement the AOP fundamentals um, uh, using annotations, right? And here is the project so which I have selected, and let me finish it. Okay. As usual, let's refactor the project so it match to our series. So go to refactor, Maven, rename Maven artifacts. Okay, and let me change this to 30 Spring AOP annotation project. So let's rename in everywhere. So copy this, then okay. Done. So application is ready now. Let me show you the the dependencies which I have added the additionally for related to AOP and aspect related jars so which we need to add. So if you look at here, we have as usual jars until context. The only jars which I have additionally added is the AOP related jar. Okay, plus I also added aspect related jars. Okay, the aspect is additional dependency, so which we required to, which is required for to run Spring AOP model. Okay, so aspect z viewer, so we have just discussed about the viewer, right? And then aspect z is the concept which is used internally in Spring AOP. So these are all the external vendor provided libraries so which we are using in our Spring AOP model. Okay, so the except those two and nothing else should be added in the POM dependencies, right? And rest all other is a normal the jars for our application, right? All right. So now moving on into the example point of view. If you see here, so for AOP related, if you want to really scan the AOP related annotations, and if you want to the automatically applies the AOP, there is a small configuration which you need to enable in the Spring config.xml file, that the name of configuration called AOP colon aspect z auto proxy. So what it will do, this will automatically detect your the AOP related the annotations, and then so it will scan accordingly. Then it's make sure that so it will create a proxies for the required classes which you want to apply the AOP for those classes. So this is the additional thing so which you need to enable. And then if you really want to enable this, so you need to enable the AOP XSD. So hope you know how we can enable AOP related XSD. We see you usually we have selected a beans and then context, right? Maybe MVC related things and then other things. But now if you want to use the AOP related XSDs which I have imported, just select here and that will be imported here. That's it. Okay, other than this, so nothing is much configuration is required. Okay, and then so followed by I have a customer bean, okay, and I have a cave owner. So the same thing, so whatever we discussed, and I'll show you one by one. Okay, let me go to the cave owner.java. Otherwise first we'll go to customer, then we'll come back. Okay, so if you see here as part of the customer, I don't have much details, but right now I'm considering the customers like student, okay, and then employee, right? So in the employee I also have two categories. Okay, some employees, okay, are having the name and along with their ID card, so so they are showing, and then so we are allowing them to browse the internet, and some employee does not have any name. Okay, just is the employee and belongs to some X company. So that's it. So and for him also I just have written a browse employee. Only thing is the between these two methods I'm just making a differentiate between, for this method is carrying one parameter and this method is not carrying any parameter. That is actually for to making sense I've added that. And then so we have a student. For the student also we don't need to capture any name, so I'm not passing any params. Okay, so what I want to you to observe is whether AOP is executing or not in between. I'm just writing a system.out.println so the customer is started browsing the internet, and after that I want to, okay, sleep. This is for 15 minutes, sorry, 15 seconds. I want to sleep. So once if it is done, then so we want to execute automatically. Again, so the rest of other part of the code which you want to see practically, that's what I have applied this, right? So maybe for now we can also add only one method, and then so we can see, and then so we'll come back one by one. Okay, so I'll show you so one by one. Probably it is better that I'll remember this. Okay, remember these are all the methods, and so we will add it back. And it's a normal bean. So if it is a normal bean, I don't need to configure anywhere, right? If it is a normal bean, right now I have only one employee is browsing the internet. So if you want to make a normal Java class as a bean class, you need to add at the red component. That's it, right? Now the bean is ready. For this bean, actually we want to apply AOP. So without of this bean knowledge, so we want to inject the AOP fundamentals. So I have written a class called kphoner. Kphoner is our aspect. Okay, so for now I don't want to apply all of them, so I will apply one by one. I'll apply one by one. Okay, maybe for now I'll remove everything not to get any confusion for you all. I'll remove everything, and then so we'll add one by one. Okay, so hope for you now this method is looking very simple, right? For you, so this method is looking very simple. I don't have anything. So if you want to make your class as a aspect class, okay, and then so which you want to apply this for across the all other the classes which you want to apply, and then you need to make your class as an aspect class. Very simple. How do you make your class as aspect? By annotating so at the rate aspect. The at the rate aspect is nothing much, so that class will act as a so aspect class. And then so this should also a bean, because the initializing of this object and should be controlled by Spring container. So, and I'm defining, so this is as to be bean. So simply I added was at the rate component, because if you see at the rate component is belongs to Spring annotation, the aspect is belongs to the aspect Z, right? So if you want to be a part of this is a Spring controller, Spring management, so then you need to annotate with at the rate component, right? So what I want to do in this example, okay, in this example, and I want to, okay, so I want to proxy this class. Whenever a customer is started browsing of internet, I want to track his login details. So whenever he started browsing, I want to track his login information. So login details. How can I track it? So I don't want to write that code a part of here. I want to write so that code from outside of this method. So, and what I am doing, so I have a class called kFowner. As part of the kFowner, I have written. So simple method. I have not written anything. Public void get login. So I want to capture the information of that method and arguments and all. Like if you want to trace out the information of that method, I said so you need to use the join point. So the join point dot signature means it will give you the complete method signature and all other details. Okay, I said so join point internally uses the concept of reflection API. So using that, it will able to identify the complete package name plus fully qualified class name, and then followed by the name of the method. Everything will be written out. So by calling which method is calling this, because so this is a very generalized code which will be applied across your application, right? So then if that is the case, how this is going to be managing means, so in order to, as it's a generalized code, so I want to know which class is calling, which method is calling, so okay, which package of the class which is calling all the details. So then we will be using join point dot get signature. It will give you the complete signature of that method, and then including return type also. And then so if you see a join point dot get argument, so what arguments are being written, what argument is sent to that method, those arguments also will be displayed in a array format. Basically you will be getting, so that I am converting as array list, and then I am displaying. Then followed by I'm also displaying, so this login method is started in when, so what time this customer is started. So login time I'm capturing of that particular customer. That's it, right? So, and I want to apply, this is a before advice. So here is your aspect class. Okay, here is your join point, and then I want to apply advice. Advice of this customer. So which phase you want to apply? When that method is before execution, only we want to capture his login details, right? Then I'm using an annotation call @before annotation, before annotation. And for this you need to pass your expression. So which expression, so which method that you want to execute, for which method you want to apply. So in this case, simple. So the method, so which is having with this name, and I want to apply it. So simply that you can paste here. Okay, so you have to paste under execution. Actually this should be under execution. Okay, is while executing, and then if that is matching with this name of the method, then I want to apply it. So name called execution, and then if method syntax is matching with this name, protected, and void is the return type, browse employee, if that is matching with this name, then I want to apply this before advice. Simply let me save this, and I'll go to AOP client. For right now I will disable other customers. Simply in my main class, so what I'm doing here, now I want to apply, so whether it's AOP is applying or not. So what I have did, simply I've written a main class, application context equal to, so class path, and we are loading the Spring configuration file, and so we are getting the customer bean. So customer bean has the method called browse, so we want to execute that, right? So simply I'm executing that. That's it. Okay, now let us execute and then see how this is going to look like. So I'll go to here, run as Java application. If you see, I'm not calling anywhere the aspect. I'm not calling anywhere the aspect of that, okay, before login method, right? But still, I want to execute automatically when this browse customer method is going to be executed. See here, my AOP is applied automatically without knowing of this method knowledge. So the AOP has been applied, okay, before starting of the browsing of the internet. So as a customer, I'm only browsing the internet. So this is the only method I'm calling. But okay, without knowledge of this method information being captured by aspect class, void.com.easy learn customer being browse employee. So this method is executed and no arguments for this method. So empty array login of this time the customer is started browsing of internet. So makes sense. Okay, makes sense. Usually if I want to, okay, like this, if I want to execute, so what I need to do in the Spring client class also, I need to construct the object of cave owner. Okay, then I have to call that method, make sure that I have to call this method for before calling of this browse employee. Maybe for one bean you can call. So if you have 100 beans across the code, so if you have, do you want to call in 100 places, right? These are all the different advantages of which we have discussed. So what we will do, just to give an idea, I executed a sample code, and when we are meeting in the next session, I'll try to go to elaborate and then discuss you the more insight of the other advisors as well, and the execution, the details also we'll see in detail. Okay, so any questions before we move on from this session?
Actually, browse employee is manually created method, right? And customer bean.
Yes.
Sorry, cafe
Yeah.
owner.java.
This is your regular bean, and then you have a regular business method.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, any other questions? Okay. Sounds good. So let's meet on next session. So have a good day to all of you, and bye bye.